Hello and welcome everybody to today's video and to a pretty bad day on F1. This is right after I came back from my trip on the weekend, so I was pretty tired and extremely rusty and having an extremely difficult time with the game. So we actually have parts of 3 races here today. The first one being Spanish Grand Prix, the second one in Australia, and then the final one at Canada. And I can tell you right now, none of them really go very well. So getting the start here, and we've lost a couple positions already. That Toro Rosso had a great start there, and we're gonna try to stick with them going around this long turn here. And you can see it's pretty tame for the most part, not too bad so far. Prada gets pushed off behind me there. He got completely dusted, and just ahead of us you can see a little bit of the jostling start. And as we go around turn 4 into turn 5 into the braking zone here, one of the guys gets pushed off there, that Toro Rosso, and has a little bit of difficulty rejoining the track, so we gain that place, and things aren't looking too bad so far. You're gonna start to see the day fall apart a little bit. It's a couple really dirty lobbies, especially Australia, but we'll get to that afterwards. So down the back straight and the DRS zone, and there you see evidence of a dirty lobby. We narrowly avoid getting taken off the track there, but we do have some pretty bad wing damage. Not bad enough to have to box at this point. Catalonia is one of those circuits where you really don't want to box. You can't really make back a lot of time, and it's a fairly long pit stop, especially with the front wing being changed. So trying our best, but we go a little bit out wide there. Allow the Ferrari to get up behind us, and there you can see I tried to pull off to the side of the track to let him by, but he still felt the need to come in behind me. I don't know if he's already going to the outside. You can tell me if you think that was my fault, but what I was trying to do is move to the very far outside of the track to avoid him hitting me, but yeah, didn't do much in the end. So now we have a red wing. We skipped ahead here to lap 3, and it's really hurting us in these extended corners. Catalonia has a lot of these where they're kind of sweeping extended corners, and those are usually the ones that you hurt the most when you have a severe bit of wing damage. The extended corners like turn 3 here and turn 4, and then again at the top of the hill here, I think it's turn 9. And you can see we're just letting people by there. I'm not the type of driver who's going to hold you up and try to knock you off the course just because my race has been ruined by an idiot. Just because there's idiots out there doesn't mean you have to stoop to the level of being one of them. So I just let him by, and here again on the straightaway you'll see me let the Williams by. It's just a matter of being polite. I have enough wing damage that I'm not going to be able to fight that guy. Just let him go, let him race, let him have a good time. And we have I think it was a Mercedes off up here, and it kind of gives us a chance to maybe go back and gain a place. You can see he's kind of being a little aggressive, forcing that Williams all the way to the outside, and they continue to jostle a bit up here between turn 4 and turn 5, and I think the Williams has superior speed. You can see the Mercedes is off the line a little bit, and the Mercedes is a little bit of a wild card. I was thinking I was going to be able to catch him maybe, but you'll see, even though I can kind of make it close to him, it's not like I want to try to pass, and you'll see him scrap with Steve in a minute. A pretty ridiculous scrap in my opinion. He's just all over the map and ultra aggressive, and not the way that you want to drive in this game, especially, you know, maybe if you're driving with friends and they're all deciding to be like that and you're joking about it, but the way this guy drives is absolutely out of control. So you can see he's just way off the track. Very liberal interpretations of track limits here. Cuts the chicane there, and here's where I started to say, like, well, maybe I could catch him, but do I want to? After seeing what he did to that Williams and watching how he respects the track limits, you just get the feeling he's a terrible driver. So we cut ahead here to turn 3, again losing so much speed on that long corner, so I just let Steve by. Once again, not going to be that guy who takes someone out like that because I have damage, and I'm going to just watch this scrap from afar, follow it for a minute, and you can see Steve really has superior speed through here, just like the Williams did. The Mercedes just has no idea where the proper line is, and I don't think that he cares. You can see he's touching the gravel on the outside of the switchback there, and Steve is all over his back, and here's where I'm like, well, I'm just gonna hang back. I'm not even gonna try to push for an overtake here. It's gonna end badly. Maybe they'll just force themselves out and I'll get to drive by the both of them. But there you see, look at that, like just bumping them all the way to the outside of the track. Here you can see pushes him out wide again. And Steve, I think, has had enough at this point, tries to come back at him. Unfortunately, Steve's car bounces a little more. I would have much preferred if that Mercedes went off after that show of driving, but again, just a terrible lobby, no fun there. Hit by two different people on completely avoidable maneuvers, and then having to deal with that idiot at the end. So now we move ahead to Australia, and this race does not last too long for us. So it's 5 lights and they're out and we're off, and the McLaren isn't. He had a little bit of a slow start there, but getting a pretty decent start here. You can see the Toro Rosso trying to come up the inside there. I'm already getting deja vu fighting through the first corner with that Toro Rosso. Let's hope he doesn't go on another bombing run here. So not too bad off the start. Started P5, kept P5. And this is always a bit of a challenge area here. Thought we could go up the inside of the Ferrari, but didn't quite get it done. Those two gain a little bit of ground coming out of here, but I think I can make a little bit back on the flat out corner there. So trying to maybe outbrake them into this corner here, not going to happen. They're keeping pretty good pace, and they've separated enough that it's fairly clean off the start, at least so far. And we're going down towards what is, I guess, the back straight here. One of the weirdest DRS zones in the game, but they're kind of gaining ground on us a little bit, and I've got a bit of a train building up behind me here. I can feel the Toro Rosso getting ready to make a move here. So I can usually gain a bit of ground through the chicane, but everybody's taking it pretty quickly there. Not too much to be had. So down into this corner here, the Toro Rosso almost makes a move on us there after his wild and crazy maneuver at the end of the back straight in Spain. I was worried that he was going to just completely take me off. These two are fighting here. I think both Ferraris really scrapping it out, and we're hoping that we can get up into this here. But you can see we're going to have a straight up drag race with our Toro Rosso teammate, try to crank up the engine a little bit to keep pace, and try to give him a little bit of space on the apex there. We still touch just a bit, but not too bad. And then it seems like the McLaren kind of teleports out of nowhere. I didn't realize he was that close. And whenever you go into a corner like this, you know there's going to be an incident. So I get squeezed pretty hard there, kind of a sandwich. Not much I could do. I tried to keep it clean. But I'm going to take a run back with the McLaren. Here you can see I back out a bit and try to go to the inside, but he decides he's going to run me off the road. And I don't understand that at all. You can see he comes back on me there. I was kind of expecting that. Just such an idiotic move. Not the right way to race in the game. I don't know what triggered him. Maybe he thought that I hit him off at the corner at the end of the straight there, but even then, like, I had a car on my inside. I couldn't go anywhere else, and I think he just lost his head completely. So we're going to jump ahead here to Canada and to one of the more strange incidents that I've had occur on this game. You can see that we've qualified here in a pretty good spot. We've got, I think, second on the grid. Oh, third on the grid here, so not too bad at all. Things probably starting to look up for me at that point, I thought. Hopefully we could finish out the night strong and have a good clean race, and for the most part that's what it ended up being. It wasn't a melee or anything like that. So starting grid here, trying to get a run on Prada and Steve, both guys we play with all the time. If you've watched any of the other videos, you probably recognize them. Both quick guys, so we're going to try to bring the fight to them here. A little bit of contact with Steve off the start there, but nothing too hefty. So I'm going to try to go around the outside. It's a tough line to take. You can't carry as much speed out there, but still going to try to get him into the chicane here, hopefully. But you can see he carries pretty good speed, and we're not able to do too much there. And now coming down here towards 6 and 7, we're going to try to make a little bit of an inside dive on Steve, and he manages to hold that speed like through the outside pretty well there. So nothing doing, and he pulls away a little bit here. We're going to try to make it back in the braking zone. He goes out wide a little bit. I think he might have touched the wall, but then he takes a little bit of curve there. A little bit of a cheeky line, but not too bad. Like I said in the previous video from yesterday, you can take a little bit more curb than you think you can there. So going down into the hairpin, we have a little bit of a touch, nothing too bad, just a little friendly tap, just to let him know I was there. So now we're going to try to get the pace down the straight, and you can see we're going to go out the outside and try to turn it into another drag race. You can't really fit two cars at the same time through there, so I back out a little bit. He carries a little too much speed, it looked like. I'm not sure if that was a glitch showing him hitting the wall from my angle or if he actually did hit the wall, because he doesn't seem to suffer too much, so maybe it was just a light touch. It looked pretty major on my screen, and when I saw that I thought, well, maybe I'll get the second place, but he doesn't seem to be impaired too much by it. So this is where we have one of the weirder experiences that I've ever seen. And let me know what you think about this. They said it looked like I touched the wall, but I've never had the car step out like that before. And I'll show you in slow motion just to give it a look. So definitely one of the great mysteries of the game there. Let me know what you think happened. I think my outside wheel touched the grass, and for some reason it just shifted the car all the way around, but it kind of ruined our race. We're down to P4 now. We're going to make a little bit of a charge on the next lap at the McLaren here and see if we can make it past him. Luckily, no damage from the spin. It just set us back time-wise and really made the gap to Steven Prada something that couldn't be surpassed. So with DRS assistance, we're going to get the run into the final chicane here. Try not to take too much curb, get a little bit of a warning, but at least we don't hit the wall. And the benefit of that second DRS zone coming out of that chicane into the first corner really helped us out. Gain a little bit of space, and jumping ahead here to the final lap, nothing really changed. We, like I said, weren't able to make the gap back between Steve and Prada with that spin, just too much time between us, but we did manage to hold off the McLaren till the end. I'm not sure if it was the same McLaren that I had an incident with in Australia. I think it might have been. He kept it pretty clean this time. Maybe he calmed down, drank a beer, had a little smoke or something like that, I don't know. But definitely, I think, a lot calmer in this race. I'll have to go back and check the gamer tags and see if it was the same guy that I was scrapping with or not. So the end of the race there, managed to hold the P3 start to finish, even with the spin, but definitely one of the weirder spins I've ever had on the game. So definitely let me know what you thought about that. Let me know what you think happened, whether I touched the wall, maybe the McLaren was close enough. I didn't see him in my rear view, but maybe he tapped me, or maybe the wheel just went off a little bit on the outside and it unsettled the car. Thank you all for watching and have a great day. Goodbye.